Okay guys, so welcome back to the all-wheel drive Focus Power Wheels build. Where we left off, we finished off this double cardan joint for the front steering, and the next hurdle to overcome is mounting the suspension arms here. There's going to be 4 of them, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom here. Basically, I want the wheel to turn quite tight in the arch here, so I'm going to use technique that I've seen on Audis and Volkswagen Passats and things like that. But yeah, basically we have 2 joints here and 2 joints there, and some interesting geometries. But yeah, I figure we'll smash on with it, and it should sort of make more sense as we're going. But yeah. Okay, so that's the front knuckle done. I've sort of primitively welded it there and hid my skill level with a bit of flappy disc action there, but yeah, it seems to have worked. Clearance wise, everything's fairly close, which is good. But yeah, I think the next part now is to weld some tabs onto the frame, which will be here somewhere, and then yeah, build some suspension arms for the top and bottom here. But yeah, let's see how we go.
this turned out really well. We've got lots of steering angle there. Not quite 80 degrees annoyingly, but 76 degrees. Yeah, let's go with that. But no, yeah, no, it steers pretty far. It can still rotate the drive shaft at those extreme axles and move through its suspension travel as well. I'll just try and explain sort of what's going on here. So yeah, we've got 4 suspension arms. On the inside, they're closer together than they are on the outside, which sort of gives it this sort of swing arm sort of effect sort of thing, which should sort of help for handling. And then if we look at it from this angle, we've got them mounted a lot further apart here and then very close together when we get to the spindle here. And what that does is it creates this sort of phantom kingpin sort of around about here in the tyre, which allows the tyre to turn within the arches of the body, I hope. But yeah. So we've got a bit more framework going on here. We've got what will be the footwell here, and then this sort of external sort of framework around the engine here, and that joins up with the bottom rail of the chassis there. And this will actually support this nodding link, which I'm about to make, which will, yeah, transmit the force of the spindle going upwards into spring motion in this direction. So yeah, let's see how we go.
Wow. Okay, so everything's really tight. There's no space to do anything, but we're going to press on anyway. So yeah, suspension is not finished yet. The spring's got to mount somewhere there on the frame. I've got to fully weld up all these parts and make a swivel joint here to allow it to turn without binding up the joints there. But yeah, that can all sort of float for a minute. And I think the next hurdle to overcome is the steering before I get too deep into suspension. So yeah, I've had a play around with where to mount the steering sort of joint on the spindle here, and I tried sort of back here in this area, sort of up and down here, but when it turns really far in, most of its motion is moving forwards when it turns in like that, so sort of pulling it from the traditional area of sort of in that direction wouldn't really cut it. Same if you put it on the front, when it steers this way, it would sort of steer normally and then very, very quickly here, but then it might lock up and then you'd be in a world of pain. But yeah, so I've had a play around, and this is just a temporary link at the moment, but yeah, sort of in this area, we're looking down on it here. That seems to be the ideal place with regards to moving the wheel, because if you watch it, it mainly moves forwards and backwards, and the sort of characteristics of the geometries here means that when it turns in tight, rather than sort of swinging out round, it sort of rotates around this single ball joint here, and sort of continues sort of backwards. So that sort of gives it not a perfect straight line, but a fairly straight line back and forwards, which means, annoyingly, I'm going to have to sort of control the steering from this sort of direction, which I did have a piece of box welded in here as a strut, but yeah, I've had to cut that out of the way, and I'm going to bring a rod from that link here and bring it back to sort of this sort of area, and then annoyingly I'm going to have like a sort of I don't know what you call it, a big frame that goes across here, and the whole thing is going to have to pivot somewhere here, and then somewhere down here, and be nice and strong and have no flex in it, so that you can sort of push and pull the steering like this, and the same on the other side, and then I'm going to have to sort of control this arm mechanism here with the steering wheel, and hopefully that will work. Okay, so I'm going to try and mount this bearing sort of somewhere up here in line with this lower one down here. I'm going to try and mount these shocks at the same time as well, because it's all going to sort of, it's all coming together in this area. Yes, step by step we will get there. So we've sort of got working steering here. We've got this sort of pivoting frame thing going on here, which will have another arm coming out here to go to that other wheel. And the whole point of this is to be able to, push and pull on the steering and this bizarre geometry here, and also sort of wrap around this shock and not hit that, and also leave space in there for the chain. Yeah, so there's enough space there for the chain to come back to the rear spool here. And yeah, that's worked fairly well. Okay, so I've just fitted these tie rods here, which are the last component to the steering and suspension setup. And annoyingly, I've run out of M8 ball joints here, so I've just tacked a M6 ball joint on there just for sort of testing purposes. But yeah, I can turn one wheel now, which pushes the thingy, which pulls on the other foofer, and it steers the other wheel. Look at that. Perfect. And it actually has Ackerman angle as well, because of this link here is welded on sort of slightly facing forward a bit. I don't know if you can see that there. Yeah, it's actually got Ackerman angle. Oh yes. But yes, now that headache is over, I can move on to the rear suspension, and the drivetrain and mounting the seat back there. And then once the seat's on there, I can mount the steering wheel and sort of see where I want everything to be. But yeah. So there you go, guys. Sorry for the massive gap in uploading time. I'm currently building a new workshop, so hopefully that should be up and running fairly soon. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.